sugar, spice, and everything.
Bryce.
These were the ingredients chosen to create the perfect
YouTube series.
But Professor
Mundane.
accidentally added an extra ingredient to the concoction. Chemical
Tea.
Thus,
This week in Philadelphia sports was born. Well, that was the intro you were all expecting, wasn't it? Hey guys, my name is Liam Jenkins and welcome to another episode of This Week in Philadelphia Sports, where if you haven't guessed by the title, we go over everything that happened in Philadelphia sports this week. But if you're new around here and you're unfamiliar with this sort of thing and you want to stick around, be sure to hit that subscribe button. If you like what we do, leave a like down below. It really does mean a lot to us here at Philly Sports Network. But today we're going to kick things off with the Philadelphia Eagles, who surprisingly have been very quiet. And that is not something we're used to saying here on this show. It is usually a ridiculous trade, a big name free agency signing, potential rumours or draft insight or whatever it may be. But this week, it's been a little bit quieter. In fact, to the point where, as I mentioned on the Outside Insider podcast on Friday, the biggest news this week was that Jalen Mills attended a Sixers game wearing that. And I don't really... I mean, if he goes into a car park and that money blows away, he's lost a lot of money there. Come on, Jalen, security. You know, if we want to talk about securing the bag, you've got a dollar flapping about your chest. All right, keep it strapped down. All right. In slightly more fashionable news, okay, it's really not. I would take the vest over this, but New Era released their NFL draft hats, and my God, they could not be worse. The Philadelphia Eagles draft hats are awful. I mean, I just don't know what they're trying to do here. The worst thing is that these are probably the worst hats of any team. I mean, the Chiefs one looks good, the Seahawks one looks acceptable, but then there was another cap, and oh my God, it gets worse, can you believe it? They released a cap with the city flag colours, blue and yellow, two colours that go together like tea and crumpets, and what did they decide to do with them? That was what they decided to do with them. I mean, I don't know why I'm personally kicking off. It's not like I can wear hats. I remember I bought this in a sale online because, oh, it's the Sixers. I run a Philly sports website. This is New Era, fix it, okay? I can't walk around looking like a Lego man. It's unacceptable. Here we go. Ooh, okay, so that was a really good idea for content, Liam. Well done. On draft-related topics, so it was announced that Mike Quick and Brent Selleck will be announcing a pair of Eagles draft picks. Both of those picks will come on day 2 of the NFL draft, and while Brent Selleck should get quite a raucous reaction, especially from everyone in Philadelphia, I think his actual unveiling of the pick will slightly be a bit more low-key than expected, whereas Mike Quick should be a bit of a pump-up guy, someone that gets everyone a bit more rowdy, not quite David Akers level, but maybe enough just to kind of spice things up a little bit. In slightly more upsetting news, it was announced, of course, that Jeremy Maclin retired, which is a shame. He's had a very long career. He brought so much to the city of Philadelphia and posted this on his Twitter page, which is a very small letter. We've got a typography there. That is a long retirement letter, but it breaks down to Maclin thanking the Eagles organization. He calls out Jeffrey Lurie, LaShawn McCoy, Selleck, among guys that were really influential to him during his time, and of course a huge thank you to the fans as well. So it's always sad to see a former Eagle retire, and Jeremy Maclin is no exception. He was one of those real mainstays during the end of the Andy Reid era, and someone that even going into Kansas City and then Baltimore beyond maintained a reputation as one of the good guys in the league, someone that everyone loves inside a locker room. So from everyone at Philly Sports Network, best of luck to the future to Jeremy Maclin, and thank you for some very, very electric memories during his time as an Eagle. In what could be perceived as Eagles related news, the AAF folded. That was bizarre. I mean, how you lose over $70 million in 2 months? $70 million, that's not a good investment, that, is it? And just as things were looking up as well. So all of those former Alliance of American Football, which I don't know why they didn't call it the American Football Alliance or the Football Alliance of America, I don't know, but that's another discussion. But the players are now free to sign with some NFL teams, and some big names from there have already gone. The question is, are there any names that could interest the Philadelphia Eagles? Now, I don't want to spoil too much because I will be diving much deeper into this with an article and a video during the heart of next week. But whether that's a developmental quarterback or potentially the return of preseason darling Greg Ward, a man who converted from quarterback 2 wide receiver, and then blew up in the AAF. Or maybe, just maybe, it's a linebacker at 23 years old who led the league in tackles. I don't know, but I think there are some interesting names there that the Eagles should at least be keeping an eye on or doing some homework with. Into slightly more adventurous news though with the Philadelphia Phillies. What a start to the year for Bryce Haprer and the Philadelphia Phillies. Like, you could not imagine, actually you could imagine it, but I mean, not losing 9-8 would have been a better start, and then of course Minnesota that could have been a better, but overall very, very strong. And I mean, that was a big week for Bryce as well. Going back to Washington, the reception he got was the most petty thing I've ever seen in my life. I mean, and I'm British, we are the kings and queens of petty behaviour, but that was borderline pathetic. In fact, I think it crosses over pathetic. It is just unreasonable. The guy who played his rookie contract in Washington, won so much there, brought so much hope to that city, goes off to get a better contract after the Nationals pretty much lowballed him an offer. I don't see why they're annoyed. It's not like Bryce Haprer has pulled a Kevin Durant, gone and snaked the team and ended up in Golden State. It is not like the Phillies have piped Washington out of a playoff spot and then he's gone to sit with the Phillies. It's not at all. It's like he's graduated college and got a job, and because that job's not within the college are annoyed and start throwing torches at his house. I don't understand the behaviour of Nationals fans. That is the most bitter thing you could ever do. But then, what made it even sweeter was, of course, the bat-flipping home run that put the nail in the coffin. You could not imagine a sweeter moment than that. He was hyping up the Phillies fans to right field afterwards, and before it, Bryce Haprer all of a sudden has gone from what looks like a guy who's very quickly fitting into Philadelphia to being a true Philadelphia guy that's raising his family there. They're expecting a child, and everyone is besotted with Bryce Haprer, his beautiful hair and his beard. So I mean, how can you not be? The Phillies are flying right now. Minor quibble though, pitching hasn't been great, is it? I mean, David Robertson, awful. Aaron Nola has been walking more people than I've had cups of tea today. Nick Pivetta lasted 4.2 innings before they were like, no, that's enough. I mean, that's basically Liam throwing underarm. But I think that will improve. Obviously, it's a very small sample size right now. Every pitcher's played like, what, maybe 1, 2, 3 games. It's not like there is a whole season to go off. But there are some notable concerns that they're not putting guys away, that they're kind of really extending those longer at-bats and just keeping teams in it when the offense is being so explosive that it's now becoming like an offensive match every single game, that the pitchers aren't doing what they should be and putting those games to bed when the Phillies go out for a 3-run breakout. Instead, it then becomes a 3-3 tie and you're like, oh, here we go again. So there's plenty of positivity. The Phillies are second in their division at the moment. Bryce Haprer is doing Bryce Haprer things. When the team decides to walk Bryce Haprer, Rhys Hoskins comes up and puts an absolute dinger into the stands. So there is so much to be excited about. And on that note, is there a better image to come out this week than Rhys Hoskins, Carson Wentz and Bryce Haprer? That is the most shipping bromantic thing I've ever... I mean, it would be nice if, I don't know, maybe Nolan Patrick or Carter Hart was there, but beggars can't be choosers. That's a strong step forward, right? On to the Sixers, and Brett Brown's mission of landing the plane is somewhat hitting turbulence. Although the Sixers broke out for a 20-point win over the Chicago Bulls, they're not really making life easy for themselves right now, are they? The team have been hampered by injury, and guys like Joel Embiid and Jimmy Butler have all kind of missed time over the last few weeks. But with Joel Embiid coming back last night and sort of bending over from what looked like pure exhaustion at times, it's safe to say his conditioning hasn't exactly been top flight over the last few weeks. After last night's win, the Sixers moved to 6-4 in their last 10, but they've given up over 120 points in 5 of their last 7 prior to that Chicago loss, which even then was close to being over 100. So it's not exactly as if they're putting on a defensive masterclass right now. Now, JJ Redick made a point saying that last year it would have been great to have the best player healthy, who clearly was Joel Embiid, and he wasn't. So this year, I don't think that circumstance is going to change. They want to be hitting a rhythm, they want to be getting going, they want to feel that chemistry flowing, but the truth is that since these trades have happened, that new look starting 5 has played just 11 possible games together out of 25. Now again, a lot of that's due to injury and rotation and that sort of thing. Are we really going to expect this Sixers team to just roll into the playoffs and start sweeping teams? I don't think so, not yet. There is still a long way to go. We need to see what this team can do down the stretch. If they can close out the season strong, there are 2 games remaining. Losing 2 games in 10 days to the Atlanta Hawks isn't landing the plane. That's sort of like just putting it on autopilot and hoping for the best. And right now, that best is it's nosediving into an ocean. So the Sixers will no doubt make the playoffs. That much is secure. The race for the 3 seed is on, but are the Sixers going to be in a spot where their chemistry, their unitedness, their togetherness is going to be enough to at least keep them competitive if they go deep into a playoff run into the heart of April? Because as of right now, I don't know that it will. It's great that you've got Boban sinking threes. It's fantastic that Ben Simmons has a confidence as a shooter now, but is that going to be enough? Not yet. This is going to be a long process for the Sixers still, and although they've had 50 wins in back-to-back seasons right now, which is a monumental improvement considering where they were 3 years ago, there is still work to be done. So let's not just go into this playoff spur with the heat of expectation that this is championship or bust. We could still be 2 to 3 years away from seeing the Sixers make an NBA Finals. And that is not being pessimistic, that's just being realistic considering the stretch they're in at the moment and the actual situation regarding the team. I mean, I hope I'm wrong. I would love to see the Sixers give me a reason to wear this monstrosity a few weeks in April. However, I think the likelihood is it's going to be much more of a close and competitive battle than many are giving credit for. Philadelphia Flyers had their season come to an end on my birthday with a defeat to the Hurricanes. So thanks, that was great. On that note, it's been a big week, so sorry for the lack of uploads. I told you on Monday or maybe Tuesday earlier this week that this will now be my full-time job. So from the end of next week, basically from the 15th of April, I will be a full-time Eagles reporter for my company, which as you know is Philly Sports Network. We've got a website, phillysportsnetwork.com. That's been run 5 years, and this channel has only really been a focus for around 2 or 3, but now we're really starting to ramp up the attention. So once I'm full-time and I'm dedicated to this, you can expect hopefully close to daily uploads, a lot more content, a lot more film rooms, interviews, features, and content from different people who aren't British and don't look as bad in a Sixers hat, presumably. So it's going to be a lot more of our writers creating content here, a lot more podcasts. So just thank you again for making all of this possible. I did give a big soppy speech. It was like 20 minutes worth of me nearly crying. So if you want to go and watch that and hear the whole journey and how much you will mean to me, then that video is there. But if you don't have time for that, a quick 30-second snippet. I love you all so much. I would not be in this position without you. And now this is my full-time job. I'll be out to Philadelphia as soon as I can, meeting as many of you as I can and thanking you all for making our content part of your daily lives, because that truly is the most humbling feeling imaginable. And finally, onto the Philadelphia Union, who go out of their way to continue causing havoc in the MLS. They've been on an upward surge recently, and against FC Dallas, there will be no more fitting opponent to continue that trend against. They were 1-0 down when a penalty was missed in the 85th minute, and somehow the Union rebounded it into a goal. It was 1-1. There were 4 minutes remaining, and then out of absolutely nowhere, Alejandro Bedoya picks up an Ilsinho chip, plants it into the goal after a quick cutback, and the Union win 2-1. The MLS is getting exciting. Football is coming home. I'm in a jersey that is way too big for me, guys. If you've liked this episode, please let me know. Leave a like down below. Hit subscribe if you're new. Thank you for everything and all of your support over the last few months. There's going to be plenty more content, new ideas, new series, and much more of the stuff you love. So from myself, Liam Jenkins, you can follow me at LiamJenkins21. I'll see you soon.